Shana Tova. 7 is a lucky number, a holy number. And it was 7 Rosh Hashanot ago that my family and I were blessed to come to Congregation Brith Sholom. For us, it was like coming home. While many communities talk about being Hamish, welcoming, and like family, Brith Sholom actually is. It is a community that if I were not the rabbi of it, my family and I would be seeking to find and join it. And that is why the coronavirus pandemic has challenged our community so hard. We truly want to be with each other. We want to eat, pray, schmooze, and see one another. And while from the very beginning, we strove to bring Brith Sholom to you virtually, I want to recognize and say out loud that I know it is not the same. I say this as I am pre-recording this sermon in our empty sanctuary. Yet we must not and cannot despair. There is one aspect of who we are that the coronavirus will never be able to take away. You see, we are called Congregation Brith Sholom and not Temple Brith Sholom. This seemingly semantic difference is one that speaks volumes. A temple refers to a place and a building, while a congregation refers to the people and the relationships that we have together. Hebrew captures this beautifully in the word for community, Kehillah. What defines us is our connectedness, the relationships we have with one another, Kehillah. It is not our building, although beautiful, but each and every one of you that makes Brith Sholom. We are a family, where each person is part of the tapestry that is our community. Like any family, there are times when we have fallen short, when we fight or disagree with each other. But as a Kehillah, we are a living entity that is at its best when it cares for, nourishes, and involves all of its members. We succeed as a community when we support one another, when we share our life stories and the very moments of our lives with each other, when we celebrate, comfort, and overcome life's challenges with each other. Especially now, when many of us feel isolated, overwhelmed, and alone, Brith Sholom is here. Holidays are better because we are together, even virtually. Friends become part of our extended family, or sometimes our only family. We grow old together, learn together, pool our talents, resources, and volunteer time together. All of these things can and will continue, regardless of the coronavirus. It is the people of our Kehillah that make us who we are. Together, we can and must continue to deepen our relationships with each other and with God. Sadly, communities like Brith Sholom are becoming rare. Americans in general and American Jews in particular have steadily been disconnecting from established communities. The mistaken and destructive myth of American individualism has trumpeted the belief that I am successful if I can make it on my own. Or the, why do I need community? What does it give to me? Or finally, the why should I sacrifice my hard-earned money, status, freedoms, life for someone else? This latter idea often leads to a selfishness and a self-centeredness that betrays our country's and our faith's greatest accomplishments. Combined with a turn away from religious affiliation and its commitments and obligations, to communal and religious practice, the very ties that bind people together and bring them into weekly connection to something greater than themselves. The relational and spiritual heart of the American and Jewish community has been allowed to fray. In case you missed it, I want to state unequivocally that the myth of American individualism is antithetical to Jewish tradition. Our tradition stresses our interconnectedness, our responsibility to each other, and the power of our collective actions, voices, and dreams to build our world. From God's rejection to Cain, am I my brother's keeper? To the Torah's countless commands to take care of each other, neighbor and stranger alike. Or if you prefer, look at our need for a minyan, to read from the Torah, to sanctify God's name with the Kedusha, or to say the mourner's Kaddish. Indeed, our rabbis teach that when we assemble together, God's very presence appears in our midst, and our prayers are more efficacious. That is why most of our prayers are in the first person plural. Us, our, we. Put simply, we sink or swim together. As Hillel taught, do not turn away from the community. The coronavirus pandemic we are living through right now has framed this in stark relief. We know that there is a rise in depression, sleeplessness, substance abuse, anxiety, and cognitive decline in both children and seniors. And for all of the blessings that social media, technology, and virtual connectivity bring us, we are still physical, social, and relational beings. We need human contact, life purpose and meaning, and a commitment to each other to ensure our survival, to sanctify our lives. But we also build community not only for ourselves, but also for our children and their children. The Torah of our tradition doesn't only preach this on every page, but we have come to see it alive throughout our history. From bringing Jewish immigrant families over and helping them to get their start here, like Hias did, to Hebrew-free loans to start businesses or fund an education, burial societies, synagogues, day schools, Hillels, JCCs, Jewish family and vocational services, and our Jewish Federation system. The generations before us understood that we needed to stand with each other and unite together, not only to confront the challenges of the past or the present, but to build something amazing for the tomorrows. As Congregation Brith Sholom, we are committed to one another. We are always trying new ways to engage and involve each of you in the life of our community. Now, we need each other more than ever. So join in a morning minyan, online or in person, a Kabbalat Shabbat over Zoom, a new adult ed class during the week. When you haven't heard from a friend in a while, give them a call, catch up, check in. That could be just what they needed to turn around a hard day. We must also continue to lead our larger Bethlehem community in bringing people together. As you may know, I dislike the term social distancing, and instead I offer a different term, physical distancing, which does not mean that we are disconnected from each other socially or spiritually. In fact, I am calling out to all of you to be more socially and spiritually connected. If you have ideas or programs that you would like to see, call me, and we can work together to make Congregation Brith Sholom even better. The past months have demonstrated that Kehillah, community, is more important than ever. We will persevere. We will get through this together. And we will strengthen and reaffirm the Jewish teaching that each and every Jew must care for one another. But we must not stop at our Jewish community. We cannot stand idly by and watch from the sidelines as our African American brothers and sisters fight for an equal seat at our society's table. Black lives matter. We must ensure that our Kehillah can be a light unto the nation, a beacon in Bethlehem, so that our community brings people of all backgrounds and faiths, rich and poor, black and white, gay and straight, together to live in a community of justice and peace. The worldwide pandemic of coronavirus has proved once again that we are all interconnected, that we literally are our neighbors' keepers, for their health is tied up also with our well-being. We are a Kehillah. Now, I know that you may be thinking that we are just a small Jewish community. We've got our own service. But I remind you that we are mighty in spirit, action, and love. We will rise to this challenge and we will not give up or give in. The nature of who we are as Jews, both our faith and our history, define us. We may not have a catchy jingle like "We are farmers, bum ba dum bum 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 bum," and it may take more than 15 minutes to save you 15% on your car insurance. But we have never stood on the sidelines of community when the need was greatest. We are Jews, which means we are Kehillah-centered, Torah-powered, a light in the darkness, chosen to serve and hallow God. We were redeemed from the depths of slavery and the ovens of Auschwitz, and we will not be silent. Now, we must summon forth the power of our community, our Kehillah, the core of our Jewish values, to care for each other, to lend our energy and time to building our community, which is our family, so that we may indeed build our world out of love. Shana Tova u'Bituka. May you be blessed with a happy, healthy, and sweet